Guys, Artosis here, casting some of the CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is the round of 16 in Group D, and it's a best of one between Piano, our Terran, in the top left, and Hyuk, our Zerg, in the bottom right. This should be a pretty good one, I think. Hyuk has been very, very active lately. He's been up at the top of the ladder quite often on StarCraft Remastered. He's been playing quite well. We haven't seen any great outstanding results, like no tournament victories, but he has gotten deep in some of the smaller online tournaments. So hope to see him do well here. And then, of course, Piano. I think that we can probably safely put him like top 10-ish Terrans in the world, maybe about 10th or so, in my opinion. He's also started to commentate quite a bit of content out in Korea. So definitely a very smart guy, and I really like his style of Terran. He also does a lot of SK Terran, Marine Medic Science Vessel against Zerg, which I really, really enjoy, since that's the style that I like to play as well. Anyways, as I said, it is a best of one here, one of the early matches in Group D, and they're playing on Windbreak Ridge. This is a map that we've just recently been introduced to through the CasterMuse Star League, and it's kind of an interesting one. As you can see here, where we're looking, you have this downed NORAD 2. This is just something to make the ramp a little bit smaller that you can kill later on for better flow. We have these bones here, but these are buildable, so I'm not exactly sure what those are doing there. And then you have this spore that doesn't shoot or detect for anyone because it's not yours. But what it does is when you put a hatchery down, and you can see the hatchery here, when this hatchery finishes, the spore will help the creep to actually connect. You know, normally the creep would only go out to like here, and then you can't really get your sunkens where you want them. So that's what is there. That's why that's there, rather. So definitely kind of an interesting map. We also have a funny area here where we have some eggs, and this is a very thin area where not many units can get through. Probably Marine, Medic, Firebat, Zergling, Hydralisk, SCVs, and drones would be about it for this matchup. And yeah, you can see as he scouts through. So this is a little place that can become a bottleneck for your units. There's a lot of high to low ground switches, I guess ridges, as you could call them, on Windbreak Ridge. So definitely an interesting map. We've had a few pretty good games on it so far, but definitely have to see it played more to figure out, you know, is this going to be a great map for the future, something that's going to stay in competitive play. All right, so let's take a look at their strategies. This is about a 3-minute layer from Hyuk, pretty standard. Looks like he's going for the 2 hatchery play, which is generally into mutas. Very much the standard of Zerg versus Terran right now. Some good scouting going on here from Piano. Wants to keep that SCV alive as long as is humanly possible. Let's look over here. Very fast expansion. The wall in, of course. A lot of people really like to do that. And you can see the very quick engineering bay. This is a very popular build right now for Terran versus Zerg. It's kind of funny because +1 5 racks for a very long time was thought only to be a build that you could use against 3 hatchery play, right? Because if your opponent goes for 3 hatchery, their Mutalisks are about 30 seconds later to your base. It just kind of gives you time to get everything ready for that very, very fast +1. But even back then, I saw Flash trying to make +1 work against, or +1 rushes, and that's, of course, +1 marine attack, by the way. +1 rushes work against 2 hatchery play, and it wasn't really working out for him. He was using it and he was winning games, but he was mostly winning because he was Flash. Well, anyways, fast forward a couple years later, and it's actually becoming a very popular build against 2 hatch. A lot of times it's used on maps like this where you actually have a wall in, because Zergling rushes are just very bad against a wall like this, right? This is all Zergling tight. There's only this hole, and he put an SCV there already. He has a bunch of Marines staying there, so you would need an ungodly amount of Zerglings to have a chance to actually break through here. It wouldn't make much sense. And because you have that wall up, it gives you the opportunity to get the quick +1 attack, because that's going to cut into how quickly you're making your barracks, how quickly you're kind of doing everything. But yeah, that's kind of where you'll see that. So I'm excited to see Piano busting out this new style of Terran versus Zerg. Taking a look over here, the spire is almost done. Of course, the third base going up very quickly for Hyuk, which is normal, but this location, not as normal. This points towards an extremely aggressive Mutalisk-only strategy here. Of course, we could see him rush up to Guardians through the Hive, but whenever you see a Zerg take a very close hatchery, this is something that basically they can rally the mutas out more quickly to do more damage. That's the only advantage this gives, other than the fact that it's hard to scout. Because you don't expect them to expand so closely to you. You expect the third base to be like, here maybe, because it's far away and it would take you a long time to attack. Here, it's very close and would be easy to attack, but instead you put so much pressure onto them that they can't really do that. So we'll see if this works out for Hyuk. All right, already some turrets going up. A decent amount of Marines and medics here. +1 is going to be finishing relatively soon. And the harassment does begin. This is one of the problems with walling in against Zerg. It's very good against the Zerglings, but against the mutas, it gives them some extra buildings to harass. So you can see a lot of damage already taken here from Piano. Nothing critical, but Hyuk just starting to stack that damage a little bit. He is getting some drones out. Of course, we see +1 air attacks being made as well, really showing, again, he wants to commit to those mutas. Now look at this, flying past the natural into the main. Only a single turret here. Looks like Hyuk is going to get some decent damage. Kills that turret very quickly. Now going after some of these SCVs, a couple turrets on this barrack, so that's definitely going to help in the defense. Looks like Piano going to try to repair, but he might be too slow here. Oh, just barely. Yeah, he does end up getting that turret. And the muta's going crazy. Now, a lot of them are deeply damaged, so he has to be careful. He's starting to drop a few. And the Marines definitely fighting back well with that +1 attack. But I tell you what, I think that Hyuk did an amazing amount of damage here. This has been really good. He's killed a lot of SCVs. He's killed many turrets. He's caused lost mining time. And yeah, he did lose a good amount of mutas as well. So Piano is definitely not out of this game. That was painful, though. So a great job from Hyuk on his initial run-in, in my opinion. Now, he is droning really heavily at this base, just getting that extra bit of minerals. I think we'll probably see him take the gas relatively quickly as well. He already has... Oh, that's interesting. Has a bunch of Sunkens up here. So he's trying to make sure that, you know, you can't really attack him. This is one of the ways that you defend against heavy Mutalisk harassment, is you move out with your Marines and medics, and you threaten to counterattack your opponent. But if your opponent has these Sunkens, what's the point, right? Like, you're not really going to be able to break them very easily, and you're going to take a lot of damage at home. So it's interesting, though, to see him combo the 3 Sunkens with this base. He's really relying on this base not being scouted, I think. All right, so 6 mutas in production, the third gas on the way. That Mutalisk production is going to get completely out of hand here as that gas goes up. But a lot of turrets being made from Piano. He's got 4 barracks. He's got +1 armor on the way and already has +1 attack done. So his Marines definitely can shred mutas very, very well. You can see a fair amount of Zerglings added to the fray. And actually a Hydralisk den coming up. So it looks like Hyuk is thinking about switching over into Lurkers. He is running around this army that just went over the bridge, and oh man, there's actually a fair amount of units up here. Let's see if he can get on top of them with his Zerglings and mutas. He actually runs past, realizing that that was a little bit too strong. Gets his Zerglings in the main base on top of some of the SCVs and turrets, but it doesn't look like they're going to end up doing too much. Well, he does end up getting both the turrets, which will help the mutas to do a lot of harassment here. Looks like he decides to run out as all those units coming home. And we'll go down here to try to save this base, but yeah, Piano has found it, and you can see this is the danger of taking a base like this. If you let the Terran player out of their base, it's just so close, it's so quick to attack, and now Hyuk, losing so many of his Mutalisks, he is getting that Lurker upgrade, but this is a lot of economic damage. He's losing his third base all the way. He's lost a ton of mutas. He's going to lose his Hydralisk den, and he's going to lose the hatchery. So now we're going to have to see what Hyuk can do here to try to fight back after his sneaky plans have been foiled. Yeah, I think he didn't even have the Lurker upgrade finish, to be honest. This is a very tough situation. Hyuk right now just sending all of the drones from his third base that he could save back to mine. He's making a third hatchery to just macro from. So I gotta be honest here. This feels very Piano favored right now. He's got a starport on the way. He's still got his 4 barracks pumping a decent amount of turrets, but Hyuk, well, he's gonna get back to work with these mutas. Chopping down anything he can. Takes down a couple turrets to start. You definitely do have to reduce that turret count if you're going to get the damage done. Starting to kill some of the Marines as well. When the Marines stand on the edge like that, they are pretty easy to kill. You can see that there's actually a big group out on the map here for Piano. But Hyuk doesn't really care because he made these Sunkens, and he actually doesn't have a new third base. If he did, then he would really have to be watching this Bioforce a lot more carefully. Now, that Bioforce did catch a Muta on its way out. These mutas, in the meantime, diving into the main base. A lot of turrets here. He's killing a decent amount of SCVs. You can see that SCV count staying, I mean, relatively low. 37 is still okay for 2 bases, though. So Piano's done a good job of replenishing his SCVs, even though he's lost a lot of them this game so far. Doesn't have the biggest economy, but you have to be happy in this situation. You're playing against a Zerg that only has 2 gases, a Zerg that's only on 2 bases. And honestly, his army is not very scary. He's got his +1 attack, but that's about it. We have 1/1 Marines. Now, there is a Queen's Nest on the way. He's remade the Hydra's Den. He's getting that Lurker tech also. But what's the plan here for Hyuk? Like, is he... Well, he's going Hive, so I guess we're going to go into Defiler Lurker? But honestly, in a situation like this, it's more common for the Zerg to have a third base up and mining this entire time. And I would call this game much closer to even. Well, he moves out and actually dives upon this group of Marines that is in front of his base. Luckily, with the help of the Zerglings, he is able to clear it. So that was a small victory for Hyuk for sure. Drone coming out now. See just the Overlords congregating down here. Looks like he'll probably try to take this base. Not the easiest thing to defend against this huge amount of incoming Marine and Medic. All right, Hyuk running around. And what is the plan here? His gas is very, very low. He's got a lot of minerals, though. Maybe he can add some extra Zerglings in here. Not sure where that drone went. Maybe it got picked off. Oh, okay. He actually whipped it around and is sending it elsewhere. Maybe he's going to expand to the top right or something. And in fact, we can see a scan already occurred here because Piano's starting to get a little bit confused. It's like, where is your third gas? You have to have one if you're going to win this game. But honestly, what we see here is Piano is ahead. Hyuk has to pull something amazing off. All right, he's going to get in on top of this. This vessel almost has enough energy for a Radiate. The Radiate upgrade almost done as well. That's going to really hurt these Mutalisks as well. Getting ready to take his third base, laying it down there. We do have some Lurkers coming out finally. Also the Defiler Mound, getting that Carapace. Yeah, it's looking so good right now for Piano. Let's see if Hyuk can clear another group. Another containment force that's down in front of his natural. Does get picked off. But the overall standing army here for Hyuk is just lacking a little bit. I think any Terran would be pretty happy with this position. Okay, he's coming forward. Does get an Irradiate off on those mutas. Oh, we don't see a split as of yet. Oh, that Irradiate dealing huge amounts of damage. Oh, I actually didn't even notice this. He did get another base up. No drones here as of yet, but he's got a hold just against these Marines. A very small choke here, so Piano very smartly turns around against the 3 Lurkers. But the thing is, he can poke on both sides. We'll see if he continues to try to push into this base. If he can kill it, I think that's just about game. Now, this group of units came out. Looks like they were looking to maybe intercept any units that were coming for reinforcements, and they will. Not sure if he's even going to be able to kill all this. I guess just barely. And now you can see Piano has split his main forces up. He's going to go ahead and try to flank this base. 3 Lurkers in here in pretty good position. They get a lot of kills, but it's not enough to kill off this many Marines and Medics. Let's not forget they do have 1-1 against those 0-0 Lurkers, so that does make a huge difference. All right, so again, this base falls, but Hyuk was smart. He took 2. He has this top right. He's making a Nidus. So he might actually finally get to secure this third gas. More lurkers being made. Defilers are out. But definitely, Hyuk hurting on gas a bit. He's only got a couple Mutalisks left. Splitting his Zerglings out a little bit. Uh-oh. This could be a problem. A lot of Marines and Medics coming up, but it looks like Hyuk has sent through a couple Lurkers and a Defiler, uses that Consume and throws it down. Going to be able to defend this for now with the Lurkers. Good Irradiate there on the Defiler. And the Marines will get down the ramp. Now this is another double ramp base, so there's multiple locations that you can walk up to try to attack it. And this probably is going to be the focus for Piano. Can he kill off this third base? That's really how you win in Terran versus Zerg, is you deny their gas over and over and over. You make them gas starved. You can see that's the position that Hyuk is in here. He's only got a couple Lurkers here on defense. Throws down that Dark Swarm though. So will force Piano to turn around once again. Some Fire Bats coming down though. Then they can fight a little bit under the Dark Swarm. Yeah, the Fire Bat's doing a great job. Pushing him back. Only one Lurker remains under this Dark Swarm right now. Another group up here just waiting for the defenses to be pulled. Not a whole lot left. Trying to get into that Ultralisk tech. Yeah, I think Hyuk realizes that this is a very tough situation after he lost that hidden expansion, which actually Piano is starting to move to now. It looks like he's going to try to push up this ramp. It doesn't look like it's very easy to push up here against 3 Sunkens and this many Lings, but he does have 2 on upgrades, so he is going to give it a try. Oh, the Eraser here on a vessel to take down the Zerglings. Dealing a lot of splash. A Plague goes down, so of course he cannot break up here, but harassment going to occur to these drones. Oh my god, such a hurt economy. Doesn't end up killing that many, but does he have another? No, not quite enough energy. A lot of very damaged drones here. A little bit of a miss as far as additional damage goes. But there's not a whole lot left. Look, he's got double stacked Lurkers here. He is mining. He's trying to take a 4th base. He's trying to get his Ultralisk going, getting that chitinous plating. But it feels like Piano has very good map awareness now. Sending little groups out onto the map to slow down counterattacks. Look at this. He's even made sure he has some Fire Bats here to help defend against Zerglings. He's got his 4th base up right now, which is, I mean, when Terran is ahead of Zerg on bases for this long, that becomes very painful indeed. Another Eraser. Look at that. 11 kills on those 2 vessels. Nothing mining here. And, oh god, he even... I'm not even sure how these got up here. It looks like it was a dropship, actually. And that's going to be it. GG. Piano going to take down Hyuk.